Welcome to the Silk Swing Studio. My name is Robin Lawson. I am the author of Swing Your Pain Away and the founder of the Silk Swing Solution. I'm coming to you live from my home studio here in Burlington, Vermont, where I want to demonstrate how you too, in the privacy of your own home, can use aerial silk fabric to immediately calm your nervous system, ease neuromusculoskeletal tension, and reconfigure your psyche. I have rigged both of these swings at a new height as a result of my own post-surgery needs. In this video, I am using hammocks hung at 7 feet 11.5 inches. Each of them is 10 inches below the ceiling plane before the hammock begins. This hammock is 58 inches. The total length of the fabric is 9 yards. This hammock is 53 inches. The total length of the fabric is 4 yards. This hammock is 26 inches off the floor. This hammock is 32 inches off the floor. And I'll explain the heights of these when I'm showing you how to use them. I'm also using a Bosu ball to have more cushion under my feet and make it easy for me to get in and out of the swings, or to use it in combination with them, and a 1-inch foam mattress. So let's get started. To begin with, I'm going to find the edges of the larger hammock. It'll take some time to get used to feeling the fabric and figuring out how to use it and which parts, but just follow me here. I'm going to put the hammock under my hips and I'm going to lie down in it. Now the fabric is rigid on the vertical plane, a bit like your skeletal system. And it has tangential, responsive, and resistive stretch around the entire axis of its rigidity. This too is like the way the body's tissues are knit together and responding to one another in pressure and resistance. The immediate calming of the nervous system comes from getting out of gravity and having support along the entire back of the body, the entire spine. It's very difficult to lie on a flat surface or even a cushioned flat surface and have entire contact with the central nervous system of the spine. You might notice that once you get in the fabric, that your body will just start moving around organically, perhaps even intuitively, more like writhing. You notice your breath will start to become deeper. The body moving, pressing, pushing, rolling, contracting, stretching. Starting to feel more and more relaxed, supported, connected. This hammock is rigged tighter than my previous videos because I discovered that the way my body and mind felt after the retinal surgery required I had much more stability and support in the hammock, that I was not going to be moving very gymnastically. I forgot I'm not supposed to go upside down yet. But more therapeutically. Now remember, this one was hung a little bit higher. This one's at 32 inches off the floor, and this one is 26 inches off the floor. And this provides this bipolar decompression. The rigidity of the fabric pressing against what feels frozen in my thoracic spine. The anti-gravity effect, allowing me to relax more. My body wanting to bend and arch and twist and press, pressing into myself, tightening my legs, pressing into my feet, pressing out through my knees, pressing up with my feet, pressing back down through my feet, bending my knees, wrapping my legs, pulling down on the pink hammock, pulling my shoulder joint back into place, or imagining that I am. Keeping my head up. The back of the fabric here, providing myofascial release and stimulation to all my cranial nerves, my cerebellum, allowing the green hammock binding to suspend my legs and ease the tension in my feet and my ankles, my calves, my knees, my hips. Pulling and pressing spirally against spiral resistance and using the spiral support to work with my body's natural spiral connections. Just letting your breath come. Using the support, the stretch, and the anti-gravity to stretch your body spirally. Releasing tension by feeling supported and using the resistance to press into yourself. Press yourself back together. Press yourself into feeling the proper neurological connections using the rigidity of the vertical plane of the fabric as myofascial release. Here I'm using it on my right thigh, which has become painful again. Bringing one leg up, coming over onto my knees. I want to be in the middle of the fabric as much as possible, so I'm going to stand up and find that middle. Put my eye patch back on. So I'm approximately in the middle here. I'll stand up again. So you might notice the bottom of my feet are making full contact with the bottom of this swing. And so while I'm pressing into it, it's pressing back against me. I can press through the front of my feet, the bottom of my feet, through my toes, and slide down the back of the hammock. Press it against my sacrum and my hips in the front. My arms supported out to the sides, removing the drag of gravity when they're not very strong. Pressing through the feet, pulling through the arms, pressing the left traps, wanting to wake them up. Oh, I just had a big crack in my neck. Resting my head against the side of the hammock. Gently pressing and rolling. Allowing the front of the hammock to support my hips. With the resistance in my feet, pushing me up into my knees and up into my hips. The back of the fabric supporting my sacrum as I squat down, pressing and standing up again. Just only gently pulling on my arms. Coming back to a seated position. I hope you can see this brilliant combination of rigidity and elasticity that functions like an external ligament or connective tissue sheath. Here, while I'm pressing against my feet, I'm actually feeling this all in through my stomach here. Just pressing through my feet. Don't be deceived. It requires some effort, and you will be breathing heavy, possibly, depending on how much you give yourself to the experience and can go with it. Pressing through my left foot. Flexing, extending. I just heard my neck crack again. Let's do that with my right foot. Let's see if we can do it this way so you can see a bit more of what I'm doing. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this, it's become quite tight under my sacrum. There's a tremendous amount of support here for my left hip. This is not prescriptive. It's an intuitive practice. Spiraling with my legs, lunging. Feeling a little loosened up and a little bit more put back together. Trying to open. My frozen ribs. Coming back to stand. Stepping back on the Bosu ball. My heart rate getting up, bringing more oxygen, more oxygenated blood to my cells and my tissues. So you can see it doesn't really take very long. I'm making it up as I go along. I'm familiar enough with the fabric now. I never do the same thing twice. My body's needs are different every day. My toes kneading the Bosu ball. with the support from my left hip, right along the ischial tuberosity, the bottom of my hip bone, providing myofascial release to the levator ani, which can pull your pelvic out of alignment and cause sciatica. Supporting my left arm, which feels like it's being pulled off with gravity itself. Using rigidity and viscoelasticity of the fabric to move organically with the natural patterns in my body and the mechanoreceptors in the elastin in the body and the joints to produce a cocktail of neurotransmitters into the extracellular matrix. If we can't calm our body down, we can't calm our mind down. You might find that your body just needs to lay in the hammock. Or maybe I'll climb into this shorter one. Now remember, this is a 53-inch hammock. And I'm opening the fabric so that I can fully climb into it. Pushing, resting in push, resting in resistance. Resting in resistance. Sending oxygen through my entire neuromusculoskeletal system. Imagining it flowing through me. Allowing my body to show me what it needs. Believing in my body's regenerative capacities, and my psyche's ability to mutate. And if you don't want to move around like that at all, you can just climb into this or that or any hammock for a seated meditation practice. Whose anti-gravity effects will really help you align your chakras without fighting the rigidity of the floor or the force of gravity or the pain that comes from a subluxated spine and other resulting conditions. Arthritis, fibromyalgia, sciatica, coming to a place of quiet floating. Imagine that you're listening to the sound of your mother's heart. Imagine that you are floating in a womb of complete and total reassurance. Reassuring you to grow and develop and become. Seeking to connect with your inner wisdom and power. Accepting that your power is not dependent on your vanity or your ego, but is in fact enhanced by the destruction of them. When you can no longer rely on the ideas or constructs you've been conditioned by to support and maintain your psychological functioning. Going deep into yourself. And finding a new confidence. Pulling out of you the confidence that lives deep inside you, that's altogether different from the confidence of the world, but is rather a confidence of doing things differently. Confidence to let go of what's not working. People, places, things, thought patterns, behavior patterns, ideas. Not only looking at what's not right in your life in the exterior, but in the interior realms. The fabric also has an effect of easing loneliness and isolation by its sensory integration and affectory tension, simulating a loving hug or cuddling. Which is so essential to the human functioning. Like other mammals, we seek to cuddle and roll around and touch to calm ourselves down, relax our bodies, and feel whole again. I hope you've enjoyed that brief demonstration of how you can use the swings to swing your pain away, and that you'll reach out to me on Facebook or on my website, silkswingstudio.com. You can go to my product page and see the products that I'm using, and you can contact me if you need advice. Thank you for joining me today.